My name is Heather Massa, and I am a librarian at the East Rockaway Public Library. In order to become a librarian, I got a master's degree in information science. Information science is the study of relevant information. So it's not just all information, it is what is the important right information versus all the information that you see all day. So things have changed since the internet was invented, and now we have more and more information coming at us every day, and my job is to kind of sort through it and find out what is the important stuff and the correct stuff and what stuff we can kind of ignore. So the science of relevant information also talks a little bit about internet stuff, right? So anybody can publish anything on the internet. I could say red M&Ms cure cancer. And you and I both know that that is not true, but there's nothing to stop me from making a web page about it and spreading that as information. And so part of my job is to be able to look at websites and see whether or not they're valid. Sometimes you're looking at where information is coming from. You would want science or medical information to come from a doctor. You would want information about, I don't know, planting trees to come from the Arbor Society, which is like a big place about, a big organization that talks about tree planting and things like that. And so you always want to think about the source of the information that you're getting. And it's really, really important because you want to make sure that you're getting and giving out great information. And that's a really, really, really big part of my job. Other jobs people do with a master's degree in information science, besides being a public librarian, you could work in a law library, you can work in a business library, you could work in a school library, but then you also need a master's degree in education. So it's different than your school librarian has 2 master's degrees. You can also work for like pharmaceutical companies. There are people who make the drugs, there are people who test the drugs. Somebody has to compile all that information and figure out what's relevant from each of those things in order to do their studies. That's a whole nother job that you can do. Some people go and work for the FBI, the CIA, police departments, do research and find out information and try to develop ideas about like how patterns work with criminal activity and gather data and statistics. So they're always like finding information, compiling information, figuring out how to interpret the information. It's a lot of thinking. Okay, what do I wear? I usually wear sneakers and jeans, and I wear an apron right now because I like to be able to carry all my stuff, carry an extra mask, carry my phone. I don't want to be touching a lot of different computers because of germs. So I have like a lot of, I always have pen and paper and stuff with me. Some librarians dress a little more formally, but for the most part, it's business casual, kind of like teachers. Okay, so part of my job is reading. I read a lot of books so that I can talk about them with people who come in and want to know what they should read. Sometimes I read a lot of kids' books. Sometimes I read a lot of teen books. Sometimes I read a lot of adult books. Part of my job is that I write for 2 blogs, which are internet web blogs, which are kind of like a website on the internet that has book reviews from our library, and we only put up books that we really like. So if I read a book and it's not so great, or I didn't like parts of it, or I didn't think it was well written or interesting, I won't put it up on the blog. Only things that I think are really, really good. One of my favorite things to do is something called Reader's Advisory, which is talking with people about books and telling them about books that they might like. I do it with kids, I do it with teens, I do it with adults. So if you came in and said, hey, I really like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but, I read all the Diary of a Wimpy Kids. What do you have that's like that? I might suggest Big Nate, or another, or like maybe a graphic novel like Amulet, or maybe, something along those lines. Dogman, I'm sure you've read. Or we might try to go with something that maybe like I Funny by James Patterson, that might be more about middle school and trials and tribulations there, to address that, or other like funny books like My Life as a Cartoon or something like that. If you came in and said, I really like the I Survived series, but I read all of them, then we might find you maybe some nonfiction books about those subjects. Maybe if you wanted to do a deep dive into something and read all about it, we might find you some biographies of people who have survived crazy stuff. Or maybe we would find you other kinds of like historical fiction that might scratch the itch of reading a book like that. Sometimes kids don't know what they want, or sometimes grown-ups don't know what they want, or teens don't know what they want. And I might say, what are you in the mood for? And so it may be like they want a mystery, or they want a happy book where nothing bad happens, a happy book about happy people doing happy things, which happens all the time. That's what a lot of people want. Or maybe they want a book about an adventure. And so they'll say that to me, and we'll talk with kids. I talk a little bit more about their reading level and things like that. What kinds of books that have they liked, that they've been able to read. And then I'm able to suggest some books that I think would fit the same kind of mood that they're in. And that's why I have to read a lot of books that come in. Plus, there are a lot of books that come out and come into the library. We get to buy new books every month. And so it's smart for me to know what kinds of books that we have in the library and what kinds of books might fit with different kinds of people's moods. Okay, another thing I'm responsible for is our website. I make the graphics that go in here, that tell people about different programs that we're having, or different services that we have. We have museum passes, things like that. I also run our social media, so that's down here. So like our Instagram page, you can link right to it. And so I have to make, all the content for that as well. So, I make these little graphics, or we do little videos, or we talk about different things. I also run our blogs. So, under For Readers, we have our blog, and we do book, suggest books, suggest other types of things. So like we were talking about Wimpy Kid, here are a bunch of different books. If you like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, 13-Story Treehouse series, To Me Failure, Amulet, Big Nate, Mighty Jack, Last Kids on Earth, the Swindle series by Gordon Corman. I love the Mastermind series by Gordon Corman. It's like one of my faves. But so we have lots and lots of different book suggestions for all ages here. We have a separate book blog just for teens. Also on our website, sorry, I'm going backwards. Also on our website under children, we have our homework help and databases. We have something called tutor.com, which is a subscription service. So we pay for the subscription, and you can log on any day between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. and connect with a live tutor who can, if you say like, I can get this far on my math question and I don't know what to do next, they'll start saying things like, is this familiar? Does this sound familiar? What do you think the next step is? And so they'll be able to help you with your homework if you need it. Part of our job also is to buy books. These are new books in the kids section, and that's new fiction, and this is new nonfiction in the kids section. I buy books for the adult section and all the media. So I buy TV series and DVDs. Miss Donna buys the kids books, and Miss Lisa buys the teen books. So we have to pick and choose because there's lots of books that come out, and we don't have enough money to buy every single book. So we have to pick books that we think people will want and people will want to come and take out. We also right now have something called Blind Date with a Book for Valentine's Day. So we wrapped up the books so you can't see what they are, and they say what the first line is on the cover. And We think it's really fun, and a lot of kids really like it, but we do it for adults too and teens as well. Another part of our job is to do crafts and programs. So one of my favorite things is to make things, and I plan crafts for adults. Miss Donna does crafts for kids, and Miss Lisa does crafts for teens. Other kinds of programs we have are book discussions. During the summertime, we do book discussions for kids, and all year round, we do book discussions for adults. And in the summertime, we also do for teens. Book discussions are when everybody reads the same book and then we talk about it. You do that in class, right? So sometimes we have dessert with it too, and that's sometimes what brings people in is a little dessert, a little extra food. Other kinds of programs that we have is like we host ones on like how to do your taxes, or maybe for kids how to draw something special, or drums, or all different kinds of painting things and things like that. If there are programs that you're interested in, mention it when you come in and we can see if we can put them on. Okay, so another thing that we do besides talking to kids about books is sometimes kids don't want to talk to us about books or anything. They just don't want to talk to a grown-up. And listen, I get it. So we have our grab and go section. And what we have here is, so we have a shelf for each kind of grade duo. So this is grab and go for 5th and 6th grade. We have grab and go if you like wonder. We have 5th and 6th grade mysteries. Then we have 3rd and 4th grade mysteries, 1st and 2nd grade. And then we have some like craft books and cookbooks, fact books, history books. And really, we spend we spend time picking out things that we think are good for these shelves, because we don't want like a not great book on here. These are all great reads. So if you want to come into the library, you can always find them here. We also, right next to it, have an animal of the week. This week it's tigers. And so they're all books that are around tigers, some of them nonfiction, some of them fiction, some of them movies. There's always like a little activity. So stop in and see them. So what is the best part of my job? There are a lot of really cool parts to my job. I love to talk with people about books. I love it when people come in and tell me about a great book that they read, or about a book that they loved that I told them about. I love it when people come in and say, there was a book and it was about people in the 1800s who were quilting, and I know the book. Or there was a book about a man whose dog adopted an octopus, and I know what they're talking about. And so that's like my favorite is that I get to hang out and talk to people about books all the time. And I get to be around a lot of books and a lot of stuff and learn how to do so many things just by working. And it's great. Do I know people who don't read who work at the library? Yes. There are people who run video game programs for libraries, and they don't have anything to do with reading. There are people who do all sorts of things in libraries that have absolutely nothing to do with reading. Maybe they run information technology. Maybe they help people with their devices. Maybe they help kids learn how to code. Maybe they help teens volunteer for things. Another thing I do is I help people with their resumes. Resume is like a list of skills that you have and jobs that you've done, that if you're applying for new jobs, you can give them this particular piece of paper that's all about what kinds of things you know how to do. And there's lots of people who have really great skills that don't know how to put together a piece of paper that tells what kind of skills that they have. And so they sit down and talk with me about their lives and about their jobs and about their skills. And I put together a resume for them. Because what am I doing? I'm using the science of relevant information to figure out what kinds of things that they know how to do that's relevant to the kinds of jobs that they're looking for. How can I make all of their skills apply to the kinds of jobs that they're looking for? It's really cool. And it's like literally in my wheelhouse of things that I do. And I can help people get jobs, and that's awesome. And it has nothing to do with books. And so really, really, really honestly, there are a million jobs that you could do in public libraries that don't have to do with reading. So don't count it out, even if you don't love reading. I wish that you loved reading because I love reading, but I do understand that everybody has their stuff. I would love it if you came in to see me. I would love it if you came in to get a library card. And I would love it if you came in to use your library card and talk to me about books that you like. Thanks. Before I go, I just want to tell you two more things that are really, really important. The first one is that everyone is welcome at the library. Whether or not you have a library card, you can come into the library and sit and do homework, hang out. We have computers for use. We have internet. We have free Wi-Fi. We are here for you, and you can look at books, and you can look up information, and you can ask us questions, or you can just sit and hang out, and you are welcome here anytime we're open. Okay? Everyone is welcome. We don't ask if you have a library card in order for you to come in and sit. The second thing is to get a library card. If you live in East Rockaway or Bay Park, you just have to come in with a parent. Actually, your parent has to come in. You don't even have to be here. But your parent or guardian has to come in with two forms of ID. It could be a rental agreement. It could be a driver's license. It could be a bill, a recently dated bill. It could be a car registration. You don't really have to understand all of these things to be able to tell them, hey, call the library and find out what you need to get a library card, or let's go to the library and find out what we need to get a library card, or let's look on the website, eastrockawaylibrary.org, to find out how to get a library card. So everyone's entitled to a library card in your house. Mom, dad, kids, grandma, grandpa, anybody who lives in East Rockaway or Bay Park is entitled to have their own library card. And you can use that to take out books and take out items. We have some restrictions on kids' cards, like kids can't take out grown-up movies, like you can't take out horror films, but you can take out movies from the kids' room, you can take out books, you can take out cake pans, you can take out all sorts of stuff. And you can also download ebooks and download audiobooks if you like to listen to books. So it's awesome. So I'd love to see you. Come on in. Tell mom, tell dad, tell whoever your guardian is that you would like to get a library card. And we would love for you to get a library card. And it is free. It doesn't cost anything to get your library card. So you might as well do it. We would love to see you.